big pain point for me was, in California, we had our prices set. I mean, our prices didn't change much, I mean, we would maybe raise our prices here and there, but coming into a new area, we didn't even know what to charge. So doing research there, that was kind of hard to find out where we were going to be able to be, and if people would be willing to pay the prices that we had or stuff like that. That was a kind of a roller coaster at first, where you'd start out somewhere and, we ended up a whole different area for price wise.
Is it somewhere close, like now that you've kind of figured it out, or is it still completely different than what you did charge in California?
It's crazy because in California, I felt like our prices were pretty reasonable and, affordable. Mm-hmm. And we moved up to Idaho, and we kind of, at first I was just like, well, why don't we just keep them kind of right where they're at and see where we can go from there, I mean, and, the first, I would say, month, people weren't really accepting our estimates. It wasn't happening. So we kind of lowered our prices a little bit, and we started getting more work. And then soon as springtime hit, things were starting to pick up, and, we've ramped up from there where we're almost charging a lot more than we were in California now versus when we first started, just because the prices are definitely really similar to California's for the different items and stuff like that. But, you get to the point where you are able to offer that premium pricing for the certain, like you were saying, white glove treatment that you give them, and you have to charge accordingly. And I mean, we're finding our ideal customer now. And I feel like that's where it's really coming into play, where those are the customers that we really want to work for and the customers that we can really help.
Mm-hmm. It's funny how like your price and then backed up with the quality that goes into that price, kind of like leads itself to like the ideal clients, right? Like
it really does. Yeah.
Your client is drawn to, not drawn to the price necessarily, but they're drawn to the quality and they understand the price that comes with that. So, I know, Alan, I always love the story of like whenever you were, because people sometimes they can feel super tied to their pricing. But when you're smaller, it's a lot easier, right? When it's just yourself as owner operator, wife answering the phone, there's a lot more flexibility there where you can change your price and then change it back in an hour. I mean, I remember whenever it was like last year, you were playing around with pricing when you did some huge increases and you went up to like, what was it? $250 and you were there for like a couple weeks and then you brought it down to, ultimately closer where you settled on. But the amazing thing was, I remember you told me like people were accepting bids at that rate. It depends on your business and how booked out and your technicians, all these different factors. But, one other quick one I'll share on pricing real quick is there's this guy I talked to he was in like Los Angeles. No, he's in the Bay Area, like super upscale Bay Area. And he charged like $250 an hour. It's just himself. And he worked part-time and only just, he didn't have to do much work every week, but it worked for him. And he just had this great clientele base that we're paying him $250, $300 an hour to do like ceiling fans and electrical things and little minor home improvements. But to me, it's just, you can play around with your pricing and don't be scared to test around